Hello and welcome to Time for Healing. I am your host, Marion Porter of Star Winds. Time for Healing features Connecticut's leading healers in a unique educational show. My goal is to provide the viewer with a working knowledge of a wide variety of healing modalities. First, we will learn all about the particular healing, and then I will receive that healing live on camera. Yeah. My guest today is Eilis Philpott, who will tell us all about rebirthing. Yes!
Hi,
Eilis,
Marion.
you're here.
I'm here.
Finally, the rebirthing show.
Yay, thank you for inviting me.
Oh, thank you for being here. Yay. Rebirthing. You know, when I saw you did rebirthing, of course you knew I had to have you on my show. Absolutely had no idea what rebirthing was. I'd heard about it in the 80s.
Okay.
Heard about it in the 80s, I never did it. I just never ended up doing it, and then I never heard of it again.
Yeah.
And when I heard that you did rebirthing, I'm like, oh, this show is on. And so all this time I resisted really just looking up what rebirthing is so I could just be totally fresh for you today. But now the time is here. Tell me, what is this rebirthing?
Rebirthing is a breathing technique. And it's interesting that you say that you heard about it in the 80s. Rebirthing itself started in the 70s with a guy named Leonard Orr. And he discovered that while he was breathing in his tub, for whatever reason, that he was having birth memories. And he experimented with how he could use this information for healing, and discovered that when you heal issues from birth and birth trauma, that every issue in your life is a reflection of whatever happened during your birth. And so late 70s into the 80s, big lot of training. There was big trainers in New York and Connecticut, which is probably why you heard of it before. And then it was in the early 90s, was around the time I moved to America. And the whole rebirthing world was kind of shifting and moving. So a lot of what they had been doing stopped happening, which is probably why you didn't hear about it for a period of time. So when I came here in 1994, fairly quickly I knew that I really loved rebirthing. I came across a practitioner and went as a client myself for a number of years.
What led you to seek out rebirthing?
Trying to think. I could go back a little bit.
Okay.
I'm the eldest of 9 children.
Okay.
So I'm the I've been in the energy of birth all my life. When I moved, I grew up in Ireland, then moved to England, and I was a high school science teacher teaching biology.
Oh, wow.
And I ended up, I was in a Catholic school, and I was the only teacher that wanted to teach sex and reproduction.
Good for you.
So I was in that energy again, reproduction. I had my son, I got pregnant while I was teaching, had my son, and then when he was actually, the day we moved to America, he was 9 months old.
Wow.
And I had started getting interested in alternative healing for my own personal journey when we lived in England, in London, and knew that when we came here, I wanted to train in something. I wanted to learn something. I wanted to be able to contribute in some way. I just didn't know what that way was at that stage. So I started looking at things fairly quickly and came across rebirthing. And there was a rebirthing practitioner in Greenwich. We lived in Stamford at the time. And started going to her as a client.
Wow.
And after about 2 or 3 years, had looked into doing numerous trainings and workshops, and as I said, there was nothing really happening because everything was shifting so much. And luckily for me, the main trainers in the country live in Connecticut.
Really?
But had retired and came out of retirement for 2 years in 96, 97 and 98. So the end of 96 through the end of 98.
Wow.
And my husband and I attended a 9-month Rebirther training. And then the following year I assisted at the training, and I did an advanced Rebirther training program. So at that stage, it had expanded from the rebirthing modality had expanded from pure birth. It occupied a period of conception, in utero experience, the birth experience, and then the first year after life. So any trauma or anything that happened in that period of time anything that happened in that period of time, or the energy that was stored in the baby's body, which then formed implicit memory. And what that means is that it's not like conscious memory that you and I have. We can think back to a situation and remember it. When we as babies have implicit memory, it means that the information is stored on a cellular level. And when it's stored on a cellular level and we undergo stress of any kind, positive or negative, it kicks in that cellular memory. So, for example, I can see you looking at me with questions.
Yeah, I've got. Can I say one of them? How about I say one of them?
Yeah, go on, say one of them.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That really put me through some changes. So, you're saying that it goes all the way back to conception?
Yeah. I mean, literally.
All the way
Yes.
to 1 year of life?
That was at that period. Since I have been practicing, people have past life memories. Any trauma that's stored on a cellular level can be accessed with the breath, with the rebirthing breath. And any trauma that happens in life, if you look closely enough, you can see some correlation with the birth process, but you don't have to heal the birth process.
What is it that you're healing?
You're healing the trauma that's held on the cellular level.
Wow, this is amazing.
It is. It's so powerful. And the breath, when you do the breathing, it seems very simple. And there's not a lot to watch. There's not a lot to see. But when you feel the energy of it, it's very powerful. Very powerful breath technique.
Okay, so let's just rewind this back a bit.
Absolutely.
So the baby is forming.
Yeah.
Inside the mother.
Yeah.
And anything that's happening, the baby's storing that on the side.
Absolutely.
How? How does the baby know if it's?
Well, think about it. The baby is in its mother's body. It is part of its mother's body. It doesn't know that it's a separate being. It has no consciousness that it is a separate human being. So everything that the mother experiences...
You just blew my mind. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'll tell you how, and scientifically as well, but everything that the mother is experiencing, every toxin that goes in her body, be it physical or emotional, becomes part of the makeup of the baby. So there is an association called the Association of Pre and Perinatal Psychology and Health. They've been around a long time, but they're only beginning to come into the limelight at the moment. And they're scientifically proving the stuff that we knew as rebirthers years ago.
I could go see a therapist for trauma that happened to me when I was a fetus? How do they bill for that?
I don't know. If they specialize in that period, that time period, it's becoming more recognized that period of time is so important to the development of all humans.
So everything, and according to this, everything that we are now has to do with...
Can potentially.
Oh.
Yeah.
It can go right back to fetus time?
It can go back. I mean, if you're going to really go back there, it can go back to the moment when the sperm met the egg.
Come on.
Literally.
On this show, can we bring me back to that point?
Not in a rebirthing session. There are ways of doing it. And I have done it. And I know people who've done it. Felt the energy of the sperm, felt the energy of the egg, and then... Imagine what that sets up in your...
I'm imagining all kinds of things. Yeah. Oh my God.
It's like, and what I can tell you a little bit about today is some of the stereotypical patterns that can be formed due to different birth energies. Again, stereotypical in that every person has a unique experience, and so their experience of their birth and how they store the information and how they play out those patterns in their life is going to vary. So one simple example would be, most of us had our umbilical cord cut before we started taking our first spontaneous breath.
Okay.
So what results in that is that our first breath is taken in panic. Our first experience of life is taken in a life or death situation.
Oh my God.
Which is the reason why many people subventilate. And so
Subventilate.
So they're breathing shallow, more shallow than the body can breathe. So part of the process of the rebirthing breath is increasing the depth of the breath. So you're breathing deeper.
Oh, my body is cheering. You know I am a shallow breather.
Yeah, a lot of people are. And a lot of times it can go back to, it doesn't always, but again, we're talking stereotypes. It can go back to that first moment where the doctor cut it and you're going, so you learn that you survived that situation. So whenever you're holding your breath now, take a breath.
I'm like losing my mind.
Yeah.
This is so resonating.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm getting chills.
Yeah.
I think I would have been creeped out if I looked this up. So really, it goes back to the cutting of the umbilical cord?
Yeah, I mean, that's just one pattern that can
No,
come
but
up.
still, that's a pattern.
Absolutely.
Do
That's
doctors
big for a lot of
know
people.
that they need to be really careful? Do doctors know this?
Unfortunately, no. It's like every time we watch, I'm fascinated by births, so I keep on touching my microphone. I'm sorry.
No, that's
everybody.
fine.
I'm fast, so I will often watch birthing programs and catch myself holding my breath. So if you've got midwives, obstetricians, all these professionals who have not healed their own birth trauma, it's going to kick in every single time they witness a birth. Now, obviously, they become anesthetized to it because they've done it so many times, so they can damp down their own reactions. But imagine what birth would be like and how society would be if every single midwife and obstetrician and gynecologist and whoever in that profession had to heal even just a small fraction of their birth trauma.
Can we make this a law?
Wouldn't it be great?
My God, so soon we're going to heal my birth trauma?
Well, we're not going to heal all of it today.
We're going to heal a little bit?
But we're going to see what comes up. So,
Oh my.
yeah.
Just from watching me breathe.
What I will do is I'm going to watch, because we don't have enough time today, unfortunately.
I wish I could make this a 2-hour show.
That would be
I'm
good.
so fascinated by this.
When people come for sessions, they can breathe from anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour in a session of the breathing technique that I'm going to show you.
Oh my.
They may not have, a lot of people don't have specific birth memories.
Well, how could you really?
Yeah. And some people do. And some people have them later and some people have them earlier. But just because you're not having a conscious memory does not mean you're not healing the issue.
Oh.
So what I focus on is what patterns are presenting from everyday life at the moment.
Oh.
So when we do a discussion before each session, it's like, what's going on in your life at the moment? How is that pattern held in your body?
Oh, let's do that now.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that now.
All right,
oh,
we can
yeah.
do that now.
I'm excited.
All right, so what I'll do is I'll quickly show you the breathing technique.
Okay. Wait, let me just have a little sip of this.
You're going to need a little sip.
An SCTV cup.
And I got mine.
Yay.
Oh, it's on both sides.
That's spectacular. Right, cheers. So,
the breathing technique is called conscious connected breathing.
conscious, connected breathing.
And sometimes people put in circular in there, so it can be conscious, connected, circular breathing.
Okay.
So the first part of the breath is that you're breathing in and out your mouth, which feels really weird.
God. Okay.
Your mouth will feel dry, but you kind of get used to it after a while.
Yeah.
If you need to swallow, you can swallow.
My God, just one breath and I'm in a tizzy.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't do this for 40 minutes.
You get into a rhythm. So once you kind of get going, so the first 5 or 10 minutes of a session are kind of just getting the rhythm going. And
let's start that rhythm.
Yeah. And then you're going to do circular, so your inhale and your exhale are connected. So there's no gap. Your breath is circular, it's going round and round in circles.
So you don't like stop in between?
No.
So
just keep breathing.
I'm suffocating already.
I have been breathing a lot, so my breath is very circular and very deep. So for you, you may feel dizzy.
Yeah.
You may want to close your eyes.
Yeah, they're closed.
Yeah.
Nobody breathes like this.
No, we all subventilate. And I can tell watching you breathing that you have a hard time receiving.
Yeah.
That your breath is telling me that receiving is kind of forced for you. It's like something you have to consciously work on.
I'm consciously working on this breathing.
Yeah. Feeling a little self-conscious?
I don't know what I'm feeling.
Now, obviously, when we're doing a rebirthing session, we're not doing it sitting down in a chair.
Okay.
So you're usually...
I'm laying down?
You're laying down because...
Oh, Lord, I'll suffocate for sure.
Do you feel like you're suffocating?
Yeah,
so
I'm dizzy.
What that's telling me is 2 things. You got the dizziness, which means that there's more oxygen going into your brain than you're used to. And if you've said I'm suffocating it about 3 times.
Yeah, I am.
So what that could be is maybe you had the cord around your neck when you were being born.
Okay.
So
I know I was born with weak lungs.
Oh, okay. So that is being reflected in how you're breathing now and how you're feeling now. So it's going from your subconscious cellular memory in your lungs to your conscious memory.
To my eyes that are going dizzy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why we do it lying down, particularly when you haven't done it
before.
before.
I don't know if I'd like to do this lying down.
You wouldn't?
Oh, no, I'm quite fine like this. I'd be terrified lying down doing all of it.
Why would you be scared?
I don't know. It just feels
Okay.
it.
So part of my role would be this kind of interaction that we're having. It's like, I'm terrified. You tell me, I'm terrified.
I am.
Yeah. And I would say, okay, well, what is it that you're afraid of? And maybe you would say you're scared you're going to suffocate.
Yeah, I am suffocating.
Yeah.
It really, it's like on and popping.
Okay.
If I don't stop it, I will.
Yeah. So what I'm going to tell you is that is a subconscious memory that's coming up from your cells. From
already,
the lungs in your cells. And I'm telling you that you are not going to suffocate.
Okay.
And that I'm going to stay here with you and make sure that you don't suffocate. And you're feeling it and conscious of it because it's there for healing. So it's coming up into your consciousness, and if you keep breathing through it, it will ease. So just keep breathing. Let's
like
see if
this?
it
I'm
eases.
still doing it?
Yeah. So how is it feeling now? Your breathing has shifted a little.
I feel like I'm not in my body.
Yeah. Yeah, and at the end of a session, a person will need time. So I'm not going to do this for a long period of time because it takes time to kind of get into the rhythm, which is why we do it for 40 minutes to an hour.
Someone does this for 40 minutes?
Absolutely.
Who can breathe for 40 minutes? I mean, I've been doing it for 54 years, but that's different.
We all can. The goal is to get to the place, and this is so possible, the goal is to get to the place where this gook is out of the way.
We'll get the gook out of the way.
Yeah. And get to that place of bliss. When you have that spiritual connection when you're doing your breathing, that is the best feeling. It's like you're connected to your guides, you're connected to the universe, you're connected to everything. You're breathing in chi, prana, energy. So once you remove the emotional stuff that's getting in the way, once you remove the mental thought systems that you've formed and any patterns that are in there, it allows your inner light to shine through. And your inner light is your divinity.
When's that kind of turn on here?
I don't know.
Oh dear.
It may not turn on in the time that we're on the camera. And sometimes it takes a number of sessions before you get there.
So should I breathe like this in everyday life?
No.
Oh, good.
No.
Nobody does.
No one does. It's what would happen is, and you can start easing back now. I don't want you to stay in, unless you want to stay in it.
No, let's let this roll
Okay,
on.
you carry on rolling
I'll
on.
chat when I need to. I'm starting to feel better.
Okay, good.
I'm not quite as dizzy.
Yeah,
or
so it's
fearful.
shifting. So what happens is when you've been doing the rebirthing breath for a while, it's like your body learns how to do the breath. So for me now, I don't need to do sessions, but my body will go into a rebirthing session if there's something very traumatic that comes up for me.
My arms are feeling cold.
Yeah, do they feel tingly?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the energy going to that part of your
Wow.
body. So what will
Oh,
happen?
my legs now.
Yeah, your whole, it's a very whole body experience. It bypasses the brain process. That's why you're going down right into your body. You're going into all your into all your energy bodies. So that's why you're feeling it.
Is the cord around me still, or? Oh my! Is that energy of the cord choking me?
No, I think that's cleared for the moment.
Good, because that was troublesome.
Yeah. And if you had weak lungs, I mean, what I would do in a session with you is we would start accessing why you had weak lungs. What is it? Were you born on your due date? Were you born early?
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes babies, when they're born early, the lungs are not fully developed. But that would be something that I'd spend time with you in a session accessing that information which you have stored in your cell. So you know all the information, it's there. It's just
Wow.
you need support in accessing it. And once it's accessed, then you can change your mind about the decisions you made about life that you're suffocating. So you have
let's work on one of those. My God.
All right, so what you can do is you may need to close your eyes for a second
All right, to close.
and connect with your lungs. And when you feel that connection, just let me know.
I think I got it.
Okay, so while you're breathing, I want you to ask your lungs, what was going on that when you were born, they felt weak?
I'm hearing fluid.
You had fluid in your lung. Okay. So was the fluid there as you were being born? It wasn't squeezed out?
Yeah, that seems right.
Okay. So if it wasn't squeezed out, was there a reason why it wasn't squeezed out?
I don't know.
Take a breath. And ask your lungs, why didn't the fluid get squeezed out as part of the birth process?
Would the cord around my neck have anything to do with that?
It possibly could.
That's what I'm hearing. I
Yeah,
never knew
okay.
I was born with a cord around my neck.
Yeah.
And Lord, how did that happen? Oh Lord, we've got 5 minutes left to
Yeah,
find
that's
out
a
why
whole
this
other
is-
session. So let's just focus on the lungs.
Yeah.
So as you're breathing, keep up breathing into your lungs.
Can I open my eyes? Because
You can do if you're able
right
to.
in time.
If you're able to focus on your lungs and with your eyes open,
Yeah.
that's fine. Okay.
Because I also have to focus on the control room.
Okay. So tell your lungs that you love them.
I love you, lungs.
Tell them that you appreciate all that they have done for you
Well, I
all
was
these
breathing
years.
for 54 years. You've done a good job
Done
there,
an
lungs.
excellent job.
Love them. I love my lungs.
And you are sorry that they weren't formed or born in the most ideal
You're
circumstances.
going to make me cry.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Take a breath.
Oh.
Feel those feelings. They're in there.
yeah, I am feeling those feelings.
So just let yourself feel them because they're there.
Oh, should I say this to my lungs? I'm sorry they weren't born in the
Yeah.
best
Yeah.
circumstances. Because that's feeling really light. That my lungs weren't born under the best circumstances. That feels very light.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm shaking.
Yeah. Just stay breathing with it. It's the energy is shifting. Not necessarily good TV, guys.
No, it's very good TV because I'm losing my mind right here. So if you on the camera, I've got this going on for you. This is, you can get through this.
Yeah. So that's
Oh, in all
yeah.
of 3 minutes now.
So what I'm doing is I'm creating the space
Yeah.
for you to access whatever it is that's blocking you from being true, from being who you are, I'm helping you to shine your
I
light.
feel like I've had to conserve my breath all my life.
Yeah.
That's just what's coming right out.
Yeah.
I've had to conserve my breath.
Yeah. So after this session now, you may notice, like you said, a lightness.
I'm feeling something right here.
Yeah. You may notice that you're breathing differently. Traditionally, we hold a lot of grief in our lungs, so maybe...
Oh, I've just breathed further down than this spot right here. What just happened?
There was a shift.
In what?
Yeah.
In giving myself permission to breathe?
Yeah. And you've cleared the energetic blockage that was in there.
For all the world to see.
Yeah. And this is just a 10-minute...
I'm feeling very good. What would happen after a 40-minute session you give?
Major clearing.
Oh.
People's lives change, and they can change pretty quickly. I think the most limiting thing is fear. It's when people are afraid to shift and move forward.
Well, I was afraid to breathe, apparently, my whole entire life.
Yeah.
You saw it here first, folks. I'm not afraid to breathe anymore. Oh. And I don't want to end the show, but I really think we're soon to that point. So let's wrap a bow around this. What's some very last things you can say for what just happened to me here? And how this will change my life. And I got to drink something from all this breathing.
You drink. You connected with an energy that was held in the lungs in your body, which was impacting your whole life. And you connected with that energy and you breathed it out so that now it's no longer...
I'm feeling a shift.
Yeah.
So I'm no longer...
So that is no longer going to hold you hostage. That one small issue, which is a big issue. So rebirthing accesses whatever it is that's coming up for healing that day.
Well, we just nailed it.
We just nailed it.
Who knew?
I'm very proud of you. You did a great job.
I'm proud of you. And everybody, you heard it here first. I was born with... they couldn't get all the fluid out of my lungs because my umbilical cord was wrapped around my neck. Mm-hmm. Wow. I just healed that live on camera.
And you had coughed a few times.
Yeah.
So you may cough up some more stuff later on.
Yeah, well, I hope I don't cough up nothing now because I got to end the show. Yeah. I love you. Thank you so much for this.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me here.
We're going to talk more about this. I want another session.
Okay.
All right. Well, there you have it. I have been freed from that birth trauma. So... thank you for watching Time for Healing. Oh, my God, what a great time this was. What a great way to learn about rebirthing. Wow. So how are we going to top this show? Wow. So yeah, please join us again next time when we learn about another incredible healing modality. Yeah. All right. See you next time.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Funding for Simsbury Community Television is provided in part by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.